She was just a cleaner. Every day, she swept the big shiny floors, while rich people walked past her like she was nothing. One young man was the worst. He laughed at her, called her names, and made her feel small. But one day, he looked at her face closely, and something changed. He stopped. He stared. It was like he knew her from somewhere. Why did this rich man suddenly care about the poor girl he used to hurt? What happened next will make you smile again. Just watch till the end. Asterisk, invisible girl in the glass building. The building stood tall like a palace made of glass. Clean floors, sparkling elevators, polished marble walls, everything inside screamed wealth. But not everyone inside this building felt like they belonged. Her name was Mina. She wore a faded blue cleaning uniform. Her shoes were worn out. Her hands were always dry from cleaning chemicals. Every morning before sunrise, Mina would arrive at the building quietly. She carried a small brown bag with her lunch, a piece of bread, sometimes a fruit. She never ate breakfast. There wasn't enough at home. She lived with her mother in a small one-room house, in a poor part of the city. Her father had died years ago. Her younger brother was sick and stayed in the village with relatives because they couldn't afford city treatment. Mina was the only one working. She had dreams, once dreams of becoming a nurse, of helping people. But life had other plans. Now, she cleaned the offices of rich people who never even looked at her. Among them was Daniel. He was young, rich, and handsome. Expensive suits, shiny black shoes, a fancy watch that probably cost more than everything Mina owned. He worked on the 12th floor, and everyone in the building treated him like a king. He was the son of the company's founder, but what made him stand out even more was something else: his arrogance. Daniel didn't notice Mina, and when he did, it was never good. "Move out of the way, girl," he would say, barely looking at her. "Don't touch my table. You'll scratch it with your cheap gloves." Once, he even laughed and said in front of others, "Why do they let such people into this building?" Mina never answered back. She simply lowered her eyes and kept cleaning. But inside, her heart broke, a little more each time. One afternoon, as she was cleaning the lobby, Daniel walked past with a group of friends. "She's still here," one of them laughed. "You'd think someone would replace her with a cleaning robot by now." Daniel joined in. "Robots are too expensive. She's cheaper." They all laughed. Mina stood still. Her hands trembled, but she didn't say a word. The security guard nearby gave her a pitying look, but even he said nothing. Later that day, Mina went into the restroom and cried. She cried, not just for herself, but for her mother, for her sick brother, for the dreams that had faded away. But life has a strange way of turning. One evening, while Mina was finishing up, she found a phone left behind in one of the conference rooms. It was Daniel's. She knew because of the lock screen. It showed him standing beside a black SUV. She could have left it on the table and walked away. But she remembered how people like him would accuse the poor of stealing. So she took it gently and went to the front office. "Excuse me," she said softly to the receptionist. "I think Mr. Daniel left this behind." The receptionist looked surprised. "You found it?" "Yes," Mina said. "I just wanted to return it before anyone thought it was missing." The receptionist took the phone, and without a thank you, turned away. Mina walked home that night, her stomach empty and her feet sore. But her heart was at peace. She had done the right thing. The next morning, something unexpected happened. Daniel called her name. "Mina, right?" he said, walking up to her. He didn't sound angry. In fact, he looked unsure. "Yes, sir," she replied quietly, still expecting some insult. "You found my phone yesterday." She nodded. There was silence. Then something strange happened. Daniel looked at her, really looked at her. His eyes paused on her face, confused. "Have we met before?" he asked. Mina shook her head. "No, sir." But Daniel kept staring. For the first time, he wasn't looking down at her like trash. His expression had changed. He looked like someone trying to remember a dream. "Strange," he muttered, then walked away. Mina continued her day, but her heart was beating faster than usual. Over the next few days, Daniel started behaving differently. He no longer barked at her. He even nodded once when she passed by. The other staff noticed too. One afternoon, as she cleaned outside the boardroom, Daniel stepped out and offered her a bottle of water. She stared at it, confused. "For you," he said. "You look tired." She took it slowly. "Thank you," she whispered, unsure if she was dreaming. That evening, Mina sat with her mother and told her everything. "He looked at me like he knew me," she said. Her mother went quiet. Then, slowly, tears welled up in her eyes. "What is it, Mama?" Mina asked. Her mother reached for a box under the bed. She took out an old photograph. A black and white photo of a young woman, beautiful, strong-eyed, holding a baby in her arms. "That's my sister," her mother said. "Your aunt. We lost touch years ago. She married a rich man and moved to the city. They had a son." Mina's heart skipped. "What was her son's name?" she asked. Her mother wiped her eyes. "Daniel." The room went silent. Mina stared at the photograph again. The baby had Daniel's eyes. *** closely, and something changed. He stopped. He stared. It was like he knew her from somewhere. Why did this rich man suddenly care about the poor girl? He used to hurt. What happened next will make you cry and smile again. Just watch till the end. Invisible girl in the glass building continued. The photo shook something deep inside Mina. She stared at the baby in her mother's hands. The eyes, the shape of the lips. It was Daniel. The same Daniel who mocked her. The same Daniel who looked at her last week like he knew her. But how? Why? Her mother whispered. "Your aunt and I were very close. But when she married that man, Daniel's father, he didn't want her to stay in touch with poor relatives. She stopped writing. And one day, she just disappeared." Mina clutched the photograph to her chest. Her body was still, but her heart raced. So that meant Daniel was her cousin. Was this why he paused when he looked at her? Did he somehow remember? The next morning, Mina went to work early, her thoughts spinning. She carried the photo in her bag, unsure if she should show it. Daniel walked past her in the corridor. This time, he stopped. He looked at her again, this time longer. He didn't say anything. But before walking away, he said softly, "We need to talk." Later that day, a message came to the janitor's room. It was for Mina. Written in neat handwriting. "Greater than come to the rooftop at 6 p.m. Daniel Shea stood frozen, reading the note over and over. She wanted to ignore it, but something in her heart pushed her to go. At 6 p.m., when the offices were quiet and empty, Mina climbed the stairs to the rooftop. The wind blew gently. The city lights flickered below. Daniel was already there, hands in his pockets, his eyes staring at the horizon. When he heard her steps, he turned. "You came," he said. Mina stood near the door, uncertain. "I wanted to say thank you," Daniel began, "for the phone, and also for making me see something I had forgotten." She tilted her head, confused. He took a deep breath. "I didn't tell anyone this. But, when I was young, there was a girl. We used to play in my grandmother's compound. She was kind. Her laugh was loud. She gave me sweets even when I didn't deserve them." Mina listened closely. "She disappeared one day," he continued. "No one told me where she went. I forgot, until I saw your face." He walked closer. "You look just like her. Not just in the face. In the eyes. The way you stand. It bothered me for days. And then I asked my father about it." Mina's heart jumped. "And?" she asked, voice shaking. "He told me," Daniel said. "My mother had a sister. Poor, from the village. He made her cut ties. Said she was a distraction. My mother, she cried for months. But in the end, she listened to him." He paused. "I think you're her daughter, Mina." Silence. Mina's eyes filled with tears. Slowly, she opened her bag and took out the photo. She handed it to him. Daniel took it carefully. His hands trembled. His eyes widened as he stared. "That's my mother," he whispered. He looked up at Mina, "And that baby she's holding. That's me." Tears streamed down his face. In that moment, years of broken family, forgotten ties, and buried pain came crashing down. "I mocked you," Daniel said. "I treated you like garbage. And all this time, we were family." Mina didn't speak. She was crying too. Daniel sank to his knees. "I'm sorry," he said. "I'm so sorry, Mina. If I had known." She knelt beside him. "You didn't know," she said softly. "But now you do." That evening changed everything. Daniel didn't go home that night. He sat with Mina, hearing her story. How she worked to feed her mother. How her brother was ill in the village. How they barely survived. He listened, really listened for the first time. "I want to help," he said. Mina shook her head. "We don't want pity. Just respect." "You deserve more than respect," Daniel said. "You deserve a life, a future." From that day forward, Daniel began to change. He went to the management and demanded Mina be given a better role. She was promoted to office assistant. Her salary tripled. He also arranged for her brother's medical treatment at a top hospital. But that wasn't all. One morning, Daniel walked into the staff room and announced something no one expected. This building will now have a scholarship fund, he said, for children of all cleaners and guards. Starting with Mina's family, people clapped. Some cried. Mina stood at the back, her hands covering her mouth. Later, Daniel stood beside her and said, I can't erase the past, but maybe we can build something better. Months passed. Mina now wore formal clothes, helped with front desk work, and even studied at night school. Her brother was recovering well. Her mother smiled more often. And Daniel. He changed too. He walked differently, spoke differently. He no longer laughed at others. Instead, he made space for them. He started a charity in his mother's name to help reunite broken families. One Sunday afternoon, Mina and her mother were invited to Daniel's home for dinner. As they sat at the table, Daniel's mother came out with a tray of food. She saw Mina and froze. Her eyes widened. Mina, she whispered. Mina stood up slowly. Auntie. The two women stared at each other. Then suddenly, Daniel's mother rushed forward and pulled Mina into a tight hug. She began to cry. I've missed your mother every day, she sobbed. I begged your father to let me see her. He said, no, but I never forgot. Mina's mother came forward too. The two sisters embraced after decades of separation. Their tears soaked each other's clothes. That night, they ate together as a family. Laughter filled the room. Stories were shared. Wounds were healed. And somewhere, in the corner of the room, a black and white photo of two little girls holding hands sat in a silver frame. Life had come full circle, from being invisible in a glass building to being seen, loved, and lifted. Mina's story was no longer just about survival. It was about restoration, and it touched every heart that heard it.